people keep asking me to do these presentations on how to survive a pandemic, mental health wise. And like I've been doing mental health work for 15 years and I'm still really not sure exactly what the answer is there, right? We haven't done this. We can hopefully use what information we already do have about wellness practices and good mental health and piece it together to make our way through this. My name's Amanda Rocheleau. I'm a registered social worker and I specialize in helping the helpers. If you in your life identify as a helper, you show up for others. You are the neighbor who's keeping an eye on that elderly guy down the street who lives all alone and you keep dropping off prepared meals. If you are a mother or a father or a sibling, if you are a daughter or son who's trying to check in and take care of an aging parent, you are a helper. I think that when we start thinking about it that way, we realize that our whole community is really quite reliant on these people wearing these hats. So some days it's my social worker hat, some days it's my mama hat, some days it's my community member hat, sometimes it's a global citizen hat. So when we start dealing with compassion fatigue, it's this combination of I'm already dealing with chronic stress, so my window of tolerance is narrow. And two, I've been overexposed to stories of suffering. It's coming from all directions now. It becomes this accumulation. Compassion fatigue is essentially a self-preservation coping strategy. It's saying when I go out into this world with this big open heart, what we experience is heartache. And then when our heart hurts too much and we don't know how to stop that, we put walls up around our heart and we block it out. I don't want to know about your problems. Don't tell me anymore. I don't care. I see the phone ringing. I let it go to voicemail. That's, not an individual experience. That's a consequence of overexposure to suffering, not knowing how to regulate it in the moment, and then it just taking a toll on you. And what do we do when we're in pain? Well, like our instinct is to run away from it. Our instinct is to get safe from it. Stability and our sense of safety are often quite closely linked. And a lot of people just pay a lot more attention to what it feels like to be safe because the world that we're living in feels a little less safe, right? So what makes me feel safe? What makes me feel grounded? What habits can I create in a day to help bring some familiarity and structure and stability into my life? So even when things start changing, those things don't. And so it's like the foundation that helps me build tolerance for all the change that's going on around me. Our struggle with uncertainty is often because we're either stuck in the past or we're trying to figure out what the future looks like. And so when I just drop into the moment, and even when the government's telling us, hey, there's going to be change plans, I'm just like, I'm just going to tune that out. What right now, what do I need? What does my family need? What do I need? What do I know? And when I just focus on that stuff and I don't get too far ahead, I'm so much calmer. If we want to pandemic-proof our self-care, it's thinking less about what we do and more about why did I even like that? Why would I even have considered that action or behavior as something that was caring for myself? What need am I meeting when I do that? When we boil down to the need, it's like then we can find creative ways of meeting those needs. So instead of looking for outcomes and big change and setting big goals, I go 1%. What's one thing I want to focus on today? It's our old way of thinking about self-care where we have to carve out a specific amount of time and energy in our day for self-care. And what people often did was we would just like work ourselves to the bone until we possibly couldn't anymore, and then say, oh, now it's time for self-care, crashing on Friday and then just waiting for the weekend, that kind of stuff. And it's just not an approach that actually works very well for us. If you took 1% and weaved it into each day, you'd find that by the time the weekend comes or your day off or your vacation or whatever it is, you're actually going to enjoy it a lot more because you've been keeping that fuel tank gassed up along the way.